Here are 4 ways on how to fly your drone and not crash. I won't be covering how to fly a drone, so if you want to specifically learn how to control the sticks and how to take off and land, check out these videos here. With that aside, let's get into the 4 tips on how to not crash your drone. The first tip is to hover your drone. Take off and hover about 5 to 10 feet in the air, and the whole point is to make sure that the drone looks and sounds good. You would rather find out that something is wrong with the drone right now instead of it being 200 or 400 feet in the air. This is also a great time to check the wind and see how the drone is handling it, as well as pushing the sticks left, right, forward, and backward to make sure that the propellers are moving smoothly and that the drone is moving properly. Additionally, you can check the connection between your phone and the drone and make sure that that is all good and taken care of. This can take about 10 to 20 seconds and give you a lot of confidence before you take your drone up and fly away from you. The next tip is to make sure that you take off with the drone pointed at the correct direction. Now you can imagine the drone as a pilot seat and the camera is the front of the drone. So if you move forward, you want your drone to move forward instead of backwards. That is why it is very important to position your drone so the camera is facing away from you in the beginning. If it is the opposite, then when you push forward, the drone will go backward and vice versa for left and right. If you are an inexperienced drone pilot or you just don't know that your drone is flipped around, this can cause some confusion as you push a certain direction and it goes the opposite. This can especially help when you are landing or just hovering in the sky and you want to make sure that when you push right, the drone actually goes right instead of left. So again, just make sure that the camera is pointed away from you when you take off, when you're in the air, when you land, as much as you can. It makes the flying experience a whole lot easier. The third tip is to try and get an understanding of the layout of where you will be flying. This can be hard if it is your first time flying at a certain location or there are a bunch of trees or rocks that look the same, but this can be helpful when you are flying far away from yourself and you either want to return and land your drone or maybe check out a spot that is near you. Now, of course, try your best to always keep a visual line of sight on the drone, but we do understand that if you take your eye off the drone for just 1 second, it can be hard to sometimes find it or know which position it is facing. So a good rule of thumb is before you fly far, far out to wherever you want to shoot or film, make sure to scan the area you are around. Maybe you can see that you are positioned next to a big field. So when you are far out and you are looking to return home, you can try and search for that big field instead of trying to find yourself when you are half a mile out. I've utilized this tip a lot, especially in new locations. Again, it only takes about 20 to 30 seconds. Just try and find a landmark or a certain object that you can position yourself so you know that you are flying in the right direction. The fourth and final tip is a little bit of common sense, but is to be extra cautious when you are flying near objects. Even though today drones have gotten amazing at having sensors basically all around them, you still want to be careful when you're flying close to subjects like trees or rocks. For my drone, the DJI Air 2S, it does not have sensors on the side. So if I were to fly sideways toward a tree, it would have a hard time alerting me that there is an object right in front of it. Now, of course, this goes back to trying to keep a good eye on your drone, but as we all know, when it is high up in the air, it can be hard to sometimes judge the distance between where the drone is and where the object is. I had an unfortunate experience of this when I was flying over a waterfall in Oregon. I was flying backward, thought I was pretty close to the rocks, but not close enough, so pushed forward, but momentum sadly kept pushing the drone back, and my screen went black. The drone fell on top of the waterfall, and I was unable to recover it. So again, when you are flying near objects, try and fly as slow as possible. There are settings you can adjust to make the sticks less sensitive or more sensitive, but overall, just try and fly very slow and make sure that you have a good idea of your surroundings. For example, let's say I'm flying around a tree. If I want to make sure that I have all my bases covered and I know exactly where and how far I can fly around the tree without hitting a branch or another tree, is to just fly around the tree first. I basically try and cover all of my blind spots. So instead of just backing up, I turn the drone around and make sure that I'm not going to back up into any trees. Or I give a mental note of how far I can back up before I need to be more cautious. So in this example, I would just fly around the tree in different directions, rotate the drone around so I can get a 360 view of where all of the objects of that area are. That way I know how high I can fly, how far I can go in each direction, and I can have more confidence when I am actually filming the video. After doing this, I can feel a lot more confident on where I can fly and focus on getting a more cinematic shot, instead of being nervous, having my fingers tremble, worrying about if a branch is gonna come out of nowhere, everything like that. And hopefully this video doesn't deter you from wanting to fly a drone. It is only to help you fly more safely and more confident so you can keep flying your drone longer and have more fun. And if you're just starting out flying drones and you wanna level up your skills and build more confidence, check out Drone Pilot Skill Builder. This course shows you how to plan flights like a pro, gives you a ton of flight exercises to practice, shows you how to use intelligent flight modes and film stunning drone footage, and walks you through how to handle troubleshooting and emergencies effectively. So if any of that sounded interesting to you, go check out Drone Pilot Skill Builder here or in the first link below. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on any of our future drone tutorials. Until next time, blue skies and safe flying.